Here from Healing Humanity, the Power of a Proper Human Diet. I got my boy Baxter. Baxter, come. I am doing meal prep right now. I have 32 beef burgers I'm gonna prep and cook for the family. I have a family of 6 here, and all of us are doing a proper human diet. And for Memorial Day, I had family over, and I cooked up a whole bunch of burger patties, and I did them on my smoker. I smoked them, and then I finished them in charcoal, and I just got this process going back and forth, back and forth. I did 32 patties. We had a whole bunch of family over, and we crushed those patties, and we went through them really quickly, and then I'm like, those were good patties. I want to do that again. Now, normally I advocate for getting meat locally. I try to get a lot of stuff from my neighbors. They've been sold out the last couple times I've been there. If you can get meat locally, that's the way to go, for sure. But here's what I got going on. I got some of these. I think Jen picked these up from Walmart. And there's 32 of them in here. I think it was like 27 bucks. So I don't know. I didn't run the math, but it's probably like 80 cents a patty, something like that. I'm going to cook up all 32 of these. And then I got 2 ribeyes smoking as well. And then down here, this is one of the magic tricks that really helps. This is a little Dutch oven. It's got a cover on it. Obviously, don't have the cover on it now. This is what I cook up my beef shanks. Shout out Mimi, who taught me how to do that. I cooked the beef shanks in there. But I have homemade bone broth that I made yesterday. I bought bones from the butcher. I put them in the slow cooker yesterday on low for, it went like all day and I forgot about it, and then I let it go some more. So that is homemade beef bone broth. I put a little butter in it, and it's just warming up now because the smoker's just getting started. But what I'm going to do is these patties, I'm going to cook up all 32 of them. And I put them in there so it keeps them nice and moist so they don't dry out. And Jen's running some errands and the girls are running some errands. So when we come back later, I don't have these dried out pucks for them. But a lot of these are going to end up in the refrigerator in a little glass container. And then the girls can eat them tomorrow and the next day. And the next day, and then you got burger patties. We call these things meat cookies here on the homestead. These things are fantastic. You get a nice burger patty, nothing better than that. These are $25.75. So if you get more fat, that's better. If you can get 70-30, but those are $25.75. So let's start putting some of these on here. I'm gonna try to do this one-handed. Should be interesting. Let me see. Maybe I can get a little bit of a better angle over here. There we go. So this is complete overkill. Obviously, you could just grill these and you'd be fine. But I've got, I think they're cherry pellets. And when you get that smoke flavor, it's just delicious. And the thing is, my charcoal grill, I can only cook maybe 6 or 8 of these at a time. So I get them started in here, and then I put them on the charcoal grill. They go a lot quicker, and then they got the smoke flavor. So you end up with, these are 100% beef, by the way. There's no additives, there's no filler. But you get that cherry smoke flavor, and then you finish it in the charcoal, and you get the charcoal flavor. And I'll tell you what, man, that is delicious. And then the topper to all of it is keeping it warm in the bone broth that's also got butter in it. Whew. It is just juicy and flavorful and delicious. My initial early starting time on carnivore, first couple of months, I didn't do too many patties. I did a little bit of ground beef. I did a lot of eggs. I was preferring steak, which is of course expensive. But I'm preferring patties more lately. And I'm currently doing Lion Diet. Not for any big major reason. I just feel better doing Lion Diet. And actually for the last week, maybe 5 days, I've been doing 1 meal a day Lion Diet. The other day I made up some smoked prime rib, and I had some patties left over and I had some eggs. That was my 1 meal a day. 2 pounds of meat or so with the eggs. It was fantastic. I wasn't hungry. And then yesterday I had T-bone steak and I had 5 patties. And that was it. I ate around noon. So let's see, I'll put these over here. We're gonna close this up. I got my smoker going. It's still getting up to heat. 225. Pretty much everything I smoke at 225. I did a prime rib roast. Memorial Day, we had family over. Did that at 225 for like 4 hours, and then I finished it on the charcoal. That was fantastic too. So hey, where are you guys from in the chat? It's always hard to read because I'm on my phone right now, but if you got a question, post it there. Nancy Chandler, your property is absolutely beautiful, Carrie. Oh, thank you, Nancy. Yes, we're very, very fortunate, very blessed. Grass is getting a little long back there. I had to have a repair. I'm really thankful I did it. I have had this Cub Cadet lawnmower, zero turn now, for going on, I want to say 16 years. We had it at our old house. We had it at this house, and it was beyond my repairing skills. Both of the cables for the choke and the gas were broke. It wasn't starting. It kept kicking off, like the fuse went off. And I was so close to getting rid of it and buying a new one. And I just hated to do that because I knew the engine was still good. And so I took it into this, I had this guy come pick it up and fix it for me. And it's like a brand new lawnmower now. He changed the oil, he changed the air filters, he sharpened the blades, he fixed the key with the reason the fuse was going off. He's like, this engine is perfectly fine. I had maintained it really well. I always changed the oil on it and kept it really good that way. So I bet you I'll have that thing for another 20 years, but that's another thing on my to-do list before I head out to Austin is I got to mow the lawn because it hasn't been mowed in a while. This part isn't too bad here. We actually, Jen hand mowed this the other day, but back there it's getting really thick. When we first moved here, all of that over there was grass that was like 3 feet high. I didn't know it would just, that I could cut it and it would just be like a lawn. And one day I was just like, well, let's just try to cut it and see what happens. I cut it. I'm like, man, this is cool. It's almost like a soccer field over there. We didn't even know we had that. I just thought it was sort of like wild growth. Anyhow, I got Baxter. Baxter, come here. Baxter, our carnivore dog, yesterday, Emma, Jen, and I went and purchased. Here he is. Come here. Baxter, say hi. Everyone wants to say hi to you. Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy? Baxter is in heaven right now because we made up his carnivore dog food. We prep that about once a month, and he had just run out. Him and Ray. Him and Ray and Emma's cat, they're all carnivore. We do chicken thighs. And we found them. There's this one grocery store where they have them, and they're not frozen. They're chicken quarters, and it was $8 for a 10-pound bag, so we paid 80 cents a pound. And I think we got 120 pounds. Is that right? Yeah, 10 pounds and 12 bags. We got 120 pounds of chicken quarters, and that'll last them well over a month, maybe a month and a half. Our dogs are absolutely thriving on the proper doggy diet. Carnivore diet. We give them the chicken quarters, and then sometimes we'll mix in some chicken legs or some organ meat or things like that. Oro said, I know it's not good to chat because of the sugar, but do you ever cheat and get back on it again? I have never cheated on carnivore diet. I've been doing this for 430 days. I haven't cheated once, not a single time. I'm not trying to pat myself on the back. I'm not judging anyone that's cheated. I did the keto diet for years, and I cheated all the time on the keto diet, and never once did I cheat and say, oh, gee, that was great. I'm so glad I cheated yesterday. I feel wonderful now. No, it was quite the opposite. Every time I felt miserable, my stomach hurt, I felt sick, I felt guilty, I felt stupid, and I fell off the wagon, and then you get that sugar rush, just like a cocaine addict couldn't moderate and have a little bit of sugar. They'd go down on a cocaine binge. I'd go on a sugar binge for a couple days after it every single time. So I haven't done that on carnivore. The biggest difference for me on carnivore is I admitted that sugar is an addictive drug. It's an addictive drug that we've normalized, and I've admitted to myself that I can't do an addiction in moderation. Had I quit cocaine, had I quit alcohol, had I quit meth, and it fixed my life drastically and forever, I would never go back and say, well, now I'm just going to do a little cocaine on Saturday. That's insane to me. So that's my spiel on the sugar thing. Carrie, man, you are an inspiration. Keep on going. Awesome work you're doing. Oh, thank you so much. Do you use supplements for your dog? No, we haven't done any supplements for the dogs. I keep a really close eye on them. We are trying to add more organ meats like liver into their dog food. So we've been doing a little bit of that, and I think they get a lot of the good stuff they can get out of there. Carrie, can you gain weight on carnivore for bodybuilding? Yes, I've heard of several people doing just that. In fact, if you actually look at the Honest Arnold Schwarzenegger, who's changed his tune recently, but in his bodybuilding days, it's all he did was he ate meat and eggs. Many bodybuilders, that was their thing. It's like natural bodybuilding without steroids. He was just eating tons of eggs. So absolutely you can. You got to eat more. You got to lift heavy. One of the crazy things with me is, obviously I'm not a bodybuilder, but look at this. I haven't lifted any weights. Like when I first started carnivore, I was in a good routine. I would do resistance bands and training, but the muscle just goes on like crazy. It makes sense. You're eating protein. You are what you eat. You're eating protein. You're eating fat. You're eating the good stuff, and the muscle just goes on pretty quickly. Question, what do you feed the cats? I'd love to feed my cats properly. We feed our cats the same thing we feed our dogs. For a while, Emma was feeding her cat Feline Natural, I believe it was called, which is pretty clean, but not perfect. And the cat started eating the dog food. And the dog food is just chicken thighs with liver and some organ meats, chicken feet, and we grind it all up. We give that to the dogs, and the cat started eating it. Cat loves it. So we've been giving that to the cat. Emma's going to try to supplement the cat with maybe a little bit more like sardines and fish and things like that, but the cat's loving it. I keep a really close eye on the dogs, and they're just thriving. You can absolutely see they're thriving. Their coat is shinier, their energy's through the roof, and it wasn't the case before. The case before was, we're like, this is the end of the dog's life. So like Baxter, I'm like, he's arthritic, he can barely get out of bed. You hear him walking around wheezing prior to carnivore. Now he's running around like a little puppy again. So you can really see it. And if he was sick or malnourished or needed some supplements, I think we would be able to kind of tell that. We also took him to the vet, and the vet said, this dog it's amazing. He's lost a whole bunch of weight since his last vet appointment. His coat is shiny. His energy is good. Like everything looks good. They're like, keep doing whatever you're doing. And then Jen told them, oh, we're giving him a carnivore diet. And then they were like, oh, whoa, wait a minute. No, you can't do that. Well, wait a minute. You just told us our dog is healthier than you've ever seen him. He's lost weight since his last appointment. You told us he's thriving. You told us to do whatever we're doing. And now we told you he's eating carnivore and you're saying he's not. How backwards of a world are we living in? It's just like doctors for humans. It's the same thing, vets for pets. How backwards they have it. Like, what argument could a veterinarian have? What would a dog in the wild be doing? They said you can't give them raw food, that's bad for them. So a dog in the wild would catch a squirrel, and then it would make a fire with its two little paws, and it would cook the squirrel over the fire, and then it would eat it. It would cook a bunny over a fire, and then it would eat it. Are you kidding me? It would eat it raw, bones and all, fur and all, meat and all. It would eat it raw, and it would thrive. That's what wild dogs have done. That's what dogs have done since the start of time. But apparently, per vets, that's bad for dogs, even though that vet already admitted my dog is healthier than it's ever been. Just craziness. It's the same thing with doctors. Exact same thing with doctors. You know, how far off we have it as humanity. I love my fellow human, but the more and more I look around in the world, the more sort of ashamed I am of both my former self and the rest of humanity. Humans are supposed to be the apex predators with our big brains, right? We're supposed to be the smartest species on this earth, yet we're the only species out of millions. There's millions of species on this planet. We're the only ones with our big brain, apex predators. We're so smart. We're so arrogant. We got all the questions answered. We're literally deforming ourselves. We're causing all sorts of chronic diseases to ourselves. And we're ending our lives decades shorter than we should be. We're dying at much younger ages than we ever should be as humans. All because of the nutrition and foods we're putting in our body. All because we've been indoctrinated to believe that it's just fine. And who's indoctrinating us? Big food. Companies that have an incentive to get you hooked on sugar and the standard American diet from a young age. You'll be a lifelong sugar consumer, and they will have billions of dollars in the bank. Like, it is so crystal clear to me how we've been fooled and how we've been duped. But I just did a video a while ago talking about how it's criminal to give kids sugar and get them hooked on sugar from a young age. And boy, am I getting the blowback. And boy, am I realizing how far in the fog these individuals still are that are addicted to sugar. The crazy comments I'm getting on this. One person was saying, no, kids actually need sugar. It's good for them. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? I'm like, so, okay, what did humanity do before we had refined sugar? You're advocating and saying that kids should have sugar and it's healthy for them. I literally had this argument. I'm like, is this guy just trolling me? Like, how far off are we? Sugar, like, name one redeeming quality of sugar for me. Go ahead, leave it in the comment. It rots the child's teeth. The child ends up with ADHD, learning disorders that get put on medication. Children are getting depression and anxiety at a younger age. It's all tied to the gut, brain. Dr. Georgia Ede, change your diet, or fix your diet. Change your diet, change your mind. Chris Palmer, brain energy. This all has been talked to. These kids are getting depression at younger ages. These kids are getting type 2 diabetes at younger ages. These poor kids are going into their 20s and 30s with obesity, type 2 diabetes. They end up with heart disease. They end up with depression like I had, and their life ends up getting shorter if they don't die of cancer, because cancer is a metabolic disease. We have chronic inflammation for years and years. Why do these kids have chronic inflammation as adults? Because they're hooked on sugar, an addictive drug we've normalized. They're hooked on the standard American diet. They eat this highly inflammatory food for decades and decades, and they end up with cancer. They end up shortening their life drastically, dying at 73 on average in the United States. They should be living to be over 100. And all because what? We're giving them sugar for what reason? Just give me one reason why we should give children sugar. I've yet to hear it. I asked for this in the other video I did too. Give me one redeeming quality of sugar. The only answer I get is, well, it's just normalized and our parents get, and I just want to make this clear. On that video, I'm not blaming parents. I said giving sugar to children is child abuse. If you don't know any better, of course it's not your fault. I gave sugar to my kids. I didn't know any better. My parents gave sugar to me. They didn't know any better. But once you hear this and once you know this, hopefully people will change course and change things. But I can't think of one redeeming quality of sugar, and people are like, well, the kids like it. It makes them feel good. Well, if you gave the kid meth, the kid would like it and the kid would feel good. If you gave the kid cocaine, a little bit of cocaine, which is a white powder similar to sugar, the kid would love it and the kid would feel great. So should we give the kid cocaine? Well, in moderation, it should be fine. So we should moderate and give the kid a little bit of cocaine here and a little bit of cocaine there. That was the other comment I got on the video that just drives me nuts. I had a couple people say this. One person, individual, said, it's the parents' fault. They should be teaching the kid to moderate the sugar. Sugar's not that bad. They should just moderate it. So I give you back the same argument. Then why not give the kid cocaine in moderation? It's not going to hurt him if the kid just has a little tiny bit of cocaine, and it'll make their body feel good just like the sugar makes their body and brain feel good. You're giving them sugar because it makes their body feel good. So why not give the kid cocaine? Answer me that. And if you can't answer that, just answer this for me. What is one reason that you should give kids sugar? What is one redeeming quality that you should give against all of the negative outcomes and downstream effects and shortening of their life and chronic illnesses that it's going to give them? Give me one reason that outweighs all of those. You can't do it. Baxter! Sorry, I'm going on a rant. I actually just did a little walk and talking about sugar because I had so many comments on that last video. Hey, we got Carnivore Mommy Sherry. Why don't they teach their kids to moderate smoking? Yes. And I'm glad you brought that up, Sherry. Sherry's a great friend of the channel. The Carnivore Mommy, check out her YouTube channel. It's great. What's happening with food? It's like, do we not learn from history, humanity? Do we not learn from history? What did they used to do with cigarettes? Well, the cigarette manufacturers, big business, right? They knew cigarettes were causing cancer. They knew cigarettes would shorten people's lives. And still knowing that, they knew that if they got kids hooked on cigarettes, there would be lifelong cigarette consumers worth billions of dollars to the cigarette and nicotine industry. So what did they do? They did advertisements to kids. They tried to make smoking look cool. They had the camel. Remember the camel? Little camel cartoon character. Smoking's cool, kids. Let's do it. And they got kids hooked on cigarettes. How is sugar any different than that? Just like cigarettes, there's no redeeming quality to sugar. What are you going to argue? We should give kids cigarettes because it'll make them feel good. They'll get a little high when they take the puff off the cigarette, so it's okay as long as the kid does it in moderation? It's absolute insanity. But it's a social norm that's ingrained in everyone's brain, and you talk about it, and people get really defensive, and they get really upset, and they get really mad. And the guy that said that to me, he said, it's the parents' fault for not teaching their kids moderation. I was like, are you kidding me? 9 out of 10 adults have poor metabolic health. Majority of humanity is addicted to sugar. And the guy leaving this comment, I guarantee you, himself was addicted to sugar. And himself couldn't moderate sugar. I'll challenge him right now. Quit sugar then. Let's see. You're all big talk. Let's see what's going to happen. He'll probably do it for 3 days. He's going to be like, oh, it's not that bad. I can have a little bit more sugar. Unless you're carnivore or eating a proper human diet like we are, you're probably addicted to sugar. And to blame it on the kid, that just really irritated me. He literally blamed it on the kid. The kid should just moderate. No. If you gave the kid cocaine since he was a baby, and then you expected him to moderate cocaine when he's 6 years old after taking it for 6 years, you can't blame the kid. That is not the kid's fault. He's addicted to that thing. Mo, $2 super chat. Sugar is child abuse question. How long you took it in the... I don't know what that question is. How long you took it in the peach? Is that a peach? You're going to have to rephrase your question there, Mo. I don't follow. It's really hard to read on the screen, too. Holly Driscoll says, my daughter's swim coaches have them carb up right before the meet, and then the kids eat tons of carbs during the meets. I keep trying to get my daughter to eat more protein. Comparing sugar to cocaine is such a reach. Okay, explain it to me. Explain to me why it's a reach. You eat sugar, you get high. You eat sugar, it lights up the brain on an MRI like cocaine. You eat sugar. There's a book from 1974 I would encourage you to read. It's called Sugar Blues. And the back of the book says, one of the most addictive substances that we consume in huge quantities, and it causes all sorts of diseases, including cancer, including depression. This has been known since the 1970s. Why can't I compare it to cocaine? Because cocaine hasn't been normalized like sugar. If you did cocaine in moderation, you'd probably be just fine. If you had it recreationally just a little bit and it was clear cocaine, it would be just fine. Why is it any different? It's an addictive substance that makes people feel good. Why can't I give my kid cocaine? Answer me that question, as long as I do it in moderation then. Can you share the recipe for dog food, please? Do you have cats, and if so, do they eat the same? Yeah, the recipe for dog food is so simple. I get chicken quarters from the grocery store. I can get them for 80 cents a pound. I got them for 70 cents a pound before. I have a big grinder. It's called Lem Big Bite 22 is the one I use. It's a big meat grinder. You put the bone and the chicken and everything in there. You put the whole thing in there, and then you grind it through. That's it. I add some liver or chicken feed or other organs if we can. You mix all of that up, and there's websites out there where you can measure it out. But my dog gets about a pound. How does that work? My dog's 150 pounds, so he gets about a pound and a half. If your dog was around 100 pounds, I think it's around a pound. There's a website. You got to look it up because I might have just butchered that. And we feed it to them raw, just like they would get in the wild. They wouldn't cook their meat in the wild. We feed it to them raw, and they're absolutely thriving. Dueno, any advice on not sleeping on carnivore? There's been a couple of my YouTube friends that have done videos on this. Nia from Nia's Way did a really good one, and I believe she did some really good testing and logging things. And her thing was she wasn't eating enough fat. And once she realized she was eating more fat, her sleep improved. So I would check into that. That's the biggest mistake I hear from most carnivores. They're doing carnivore, but a lot of them are eating chicken or fish or low-fat meat, and it really should be called fativore. It's all about getting the fat. William says, I've been smoking for 40 years and now it's hard to quit. Lou said, how can I quit sugar? Watch some videos, do some research, take some baby steps. You do an elimination diet. Dr. Berry, Dr. Chafee, Dr. Hampton, they've got videos on starting carnivore diet, Carnivore 101, carnivore mistakes. That's how I quit sugar. I did it through the carnivore diet. And I did it from watching videos and doing my own research from some of these good doctors. You start cutting these things out and you focus on beef, butter, bacon, eggs, your body. Do you drink coffee? Have you coffee? They're just fine with it. Some get diarrhea. It could be like a diuretic. Some people are just fine. I never drank coffee, so I don't do it. I encourage people. My wife drinks coffee. She's a carnivore. I encourage my wife. I'm like, it's great. Whatever works for you works. I'm not telling you what to do, but there is something to no longer being addicted. And a lot of people that drink, like I go carnivore, that's one thing that's great. You get this food freedom. You're no longer like, I gotta have this, I gotta have that, I gotta have my sugar, I gotta have my diet soda, I gotta have my coffee. You just eat it and you're full. Like, you no longer have any addictions sort of driving your life. It's kind of awesome, actually. Carnivore Mommy said, I think ultra-processed foods, or at least minimum cookies, cake, candies, should have a Surgeon General warning on them, just like cigarettes and alcohol. Yeah, how did we need to go back in history. How did cigarettes were so bad for so long, for young kids too, they were getting hooked on it because the marketing was working. What event happened that we were able to get over that social norm? Because at one time there was a social norm. You would see doctors smoking cigarettes. Cigarettes are just fine, it's not that bad. At one time, that was a social norm, and we were able to overcome that. We need to do the same thing with sugar and a standard American diet. Thought on the FDA approving lab-grown meat. This will push it on us. It's a joke. My biggest learning from carnivore, it's so simple. Like, everyone overcomplicates things. Humanity needs to return to what is natural. That is what I am doing on the carnivore diet. I'm eating as natural as possible. I'm eating low inflammatory foods. I'm not eating processed junk. I'm eating things that humans have eaten since the start of time. Food grown in a lab is pretty darn unnatural. Rolling up a piece of paper, putting nicotine in it, lighting it on fire, and then inhaling the smoke is a pretty unnatural thing to do as a human. You're going to end up sick. You're going to end up with cancer. So eating lab-grown meat is unnatural to me, so it's very simple for me. I'm out. I want nothing to do with it. Jojo said, what are you cooking? I'm cooking up 32 100% ground beef patties and 2 ribeye steaks. You want to see? We got 2 ribeyes. I got patties. Right here is my homemade bone broth. I made that yesterday with a little bit of butter in it. I smoke the patties. I get a nice smoke flavor on them. And then I take them over to here. This is my little egg grill. Right now, it's at about 400 degrees. 400 degrees. So I'm going to, let's see, where can I set you guys? I'm going to move this over here. I got to start transferring some of these patties over. This is the whole process right here. Let me see if I can get you a good shot. Oh my goodness, let's go here. Wait for the sizzle. You hear the sizzle? That's what you want, is the sizzle. So I smoke these and then I sear them on the grill. And I'm going to cook up all 32 of these. This is meal prep. We'll have these in the refrigerator. I've got 6 proper humans in my family. So we go through a lot of food. This makes it a lot easier. Especially when I'm not around, they'll have food easy to go. Some of the girls have cheese still, so they'll throw some cheese on these and warm them up in the air fryer. So I do that, and now I'm going to put some more pucks on here. This is totally overkill, like I was saying earlier, but it's kind of fun for me. And it tastes incredible when you get that smoky flavor and you get that paper flavor. You get that smoky flavor on there, and then the charcoal. I gotta grab a spatula. You guys watch that for a second. I'll be right back. Had to get a flipper. Had to get a flipper. I might be burning these. This might be a big fail. It looks like we got a lot of smoke in here. Whew. Not too bad. So now I'm gonna get that nice charcoal flavor. You see all that smoke? It's gonna be fine now, but when I first start this egg thing up, man, I get it hot. It is cooking hot. So now those patties, you can see right here, those are done, right? I don't want to overcook them. So I just flipped them, and now we transfer back. So this is a whole elaborate process here, but here we go. Here's one of the patties. I'm gonna take it and put it in here. And that is my liquid bone broth, homemade bone broth with a little bit of butter in it. So that's gonna keep the burgers nice and moist, and it's gonna add some more flavor to it. I'll tell you what, man, if you have never done bone broth, homemade bone broth, it's one of the best things you can eat. It's so good for you. This is like a factory job, right? It's like an assembly line. These patties, like, everyone says carnivore's so expensive. If you get the good stuff, if you get grass-fed, grass-finished, it can be expensive. But if you do the honest math, it's not that bad. But these patties, these are Walmart. Like, everyone's got a Walmart, right? If you can't get local, I'm always advocating you get local from a local farmer. That's best. That's normally what I do. Not all the time, being perfectly honest with you, because a lot of times they're sold out. And but these from Walmart, man, these things are like, I think it comes out to like 80 cents a puck, something like that. So what is that? Yeah, if I ate 10 of these pucks, it'd be $8. If I ate 5 of these pucks, it'd be $4. $4 for 5 of these. They're 100% ground beef, and they're convenient. Like, I am making this way more complicated than it needs to be, but normally what the girls will do, look at these ribeyes too. Some ribeyes right there. Normally what my girls will do is they'll just take these frozen pucks, they'll throw them in the air fryer for a couple minutes. It's like, couldn't be simpler. So, what I got going on here? This is going quick. This is going quick. These little egg grills are awesome. If you guys don't have one of these, man, my camera is all backwards. These things get so hot. Normally, I gotta flip these things already. Normally, I just sear on these things. I don't really even cook on these too much. I got this big one, and I got this little guy. And I kind of like this little guy more. You guys have probably seen me do some videos with this one. Because this thing gets so hot. There's a little temperature gauge on here, and when it hits, what is that, like 550, it shows it's searing. And oh, you can get a nice sear on your steak. So I smoke them low, and then I sear them hot. Look at both my carnivore boys right there. Hey, Ray! Ray, come here! Ray has a mind of his own, and he doesn't like to listen. Ray, come here! And he's peeing on my cooler. So, this is going quick. Look at this. Time to transfer. My only problem with this setup is I keep opening the smoker and letting the heat out, but what are you going to do? I don't know what a good camera angle is for this. You guys are going to get dizzy watching me. Here we go. Part of the reason I'm doing this meal prep is because I am heading to Hack Your Health, and Emma and Katie are coming with me, and so I want to set the girls up. I do a lot of cooking. The whole family's carnivore, but I do a lot of cooking, so I'm going to set the girls up. Jen loves patties, Alyssa loves patties, Lily loves patties, so they will have these patties. But also, road trip tomorrow, we have to drive a couple hours to the airport, So Emma and I, man, we're gonna crush, and Katie, we're gonna crush a whole bunch of these patties just in the car ride tomorrow. So I got that going in there. These ones got to go for a little bit longer. Now, these ribeyes are pretty darn close. Now, most rookies would need temperature. These look gross, right? They get kind of gray like that. That's after smoking them for a little while. Now we sear. Oh, those are gonna be good. So this is gonna be my lunch today. I'm gonna have one of those ribeyes, and I'm probably gonna crush 4 or 5 of those patties. Emma's gonna probably steal my other ribeye. Speaking of carnivores, Ray, what's up? Come say hi. Everyone wants to say hi to you, Ray. No? Come say hi, Ray. Come on. Baxter always says hi. Why don't you say hi? He's a good boy. Who's a good boy? One of the things I really notice with the carnivore dogs is zoomies. Who's got dogs with zoomies? Man, their carnivore zoomies are through the roof. They're constantly running around and playing. I can tell right now he's getting primed up. He's ready to attack. Ray! I think Ray's got a poop, so he's just kind of exploring around. Ray, what are you doing? Get him, Ray. Get him. Get him, Ray. Get him. Get those carnivore zoomies out, Ray. Get him. Get him, Ray. Get him, Ray. Go, 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 go. Get him, Ray. There you go. Get him, Baxter. Go get him. Isn't that awesome? Like, I'm not playing up carnivore. They were barely doing that on carnivore. They do that all the time now. Getting out that carnivore dog energy. All right, I can't forget about those ribeyes. Man, that thing is cranking hot. Let's see how hot we are. Well, it's not that bad. It's around 400 degrees. I have had this thing. I had this little guy the other day. I had this thing up to peaked over 700 degrees. I think I was at like 720. Man, you get a good sear. So I smoke it low and slow, 225 on the smoker. I get it to about 110 internal temperature, and then I sear it. So Lou said, how though? How can I quit sugar? You quit it. You just quit it. How do you quit anything? You stop doing it. You stop doing it. For some people, you got to take baby steps. Some people quit cold turkey. Some people start slowly removing things. Sorry, I'm trying to read these comments. It's really hard on the phone here. Man, we got like 570 people or something on here. You guys are crazy. Thank you so much for joining me. Hey, if you enjoy these videos, you want to learn more what we're doing with Healing Humanity, please visit donate.healinghumanity.movie. And if you're coming out to Hack Your Health, Adam and I are speaking on Sunday. And then Sunday night, we have a big carnivore meetup. Go to my community tab if you don't know what we're talking about. Dr. Chafee's going to be there. Bella's going to be there. Adam, Carnivore Today, Todd Bachnis, Limitless Lindy, whole bunch of carnivores, including Dr. Chafee. Who saw Dr. Chafee's recent Facebook post, by the way? We talked about this yesterday a little bit. Action movie star Jason Statham had Dr. Chafee and Elle over for dinner at his home. Dr. Chafee was with Jason Statham, which is awesome. I can't wait to ask him about that. I'm going to be interviewing Dr. Chafee in person, shaking his hand in just 2 days. 2 days from now, that's going to be one of the questions is Jason Statham carnivore? He must be, like, he's a big fan of Dr. Chafee. All right, we're going to flip these. Well, let's see here. You're going to get some cross marks. Do a little quarter turn, you get those nice cross marks on there. Carbs are the worst for weight management, and soda is the worst for teeth. Some members on my daughter's track team call her a vegan, and it triggers her laugh out loud. Holly Driscoll said, Lou, when eating enough fats and proteins, it helps keep the cravings away. Yes, I'm sorry, I should have mentioned that too. Those sugar cravings you have will go away. Oh man, he's coming in hot. He's coming in hot. Carnivore zoomies, and they smell I'm cooking meat. I think they get excited about that. When you switch to carnivore and your body is in ketosis, those sugar cravings will go away forever. Those sugar cravings will remain around forever when you keep partaking in sugar. Just like if you kept drinking alcohol, you keep having those cravings. But I have no cravings for sugar. You can put a big cupcake in front of me. You can put a big cupcake in front of me, birthday cake, whatever. I literally have no cravings for sugar. It goes away. And if you're getting it while you're first starting carnivore, my advice to you is eat more fat. Have some bacon. Like in the early days starting carnivore, the first couple of weeks, some people get those cravings still. And usually go eat some bacon or go eat something fatty, and that will help get rid of some of those. Gotta hide some users on the channel. Dog also eat rotten meat. All right. What are you cooking? I'm cooking 32 patties and 2 ribeyes. And I gotta get a rack or something to put my ribeyes on. Let me see once. You guys don't want to see my office. It is an absolute disaster. I'm getting everything ready to go to Hack Your Health. Hey, Alyssa. Alyssa. Do you want me to put you on camera?
No.
Could you grab me a cutting board and a knife and a fork and my salt, please? Yeah. Alyssa doesn't want to be on camera, so I'm not putting her on camera as long as she's going to help me out. My biggest tip with cooking ribeyes, some of you have heard me say this stuff a million times, but then there's always new people on here, is you got to let them cool down afterwards. You got to let them rest, preferably let them rest on a rack. These are done. So, oh, my camera's going nuts. Alyssa's bringing me some stuff. These patties got a little bit more to go, but I can fit a few more on there. Yeah, just bring it. It's aimed this way. My daughter Alyssa is helping me. She doesn't want to be on camera. You want to be on camera, Alyssa? You give me salt too.
What is that?
Burgers. Hungry?
Yeah, but why does it look like that?
Because I put them in, that's homemade bone broth. It's delicious, just trust me.
I know it's good.
Were they good the other day? The big flaky one. Got Ray back there. There's a nice background with Ray sitting in the back. Let's see what other questions we have here. I went to Florida for my granddaughter's birthday. I ate cake and felt like my body was going into shock after doing carnivore for a month. Yeah, well, hey, there's a lesson. A lesson's a blessing. Now you learned. Aunt B's here. Hello, hello. Where did you get your hat? I got my hat from, it says right on there, doesn't it? Matthews Archery. Shout out. Awesome, awesome company, Matthews Archery. Your kids are so lucky to have a dad like you. Alyssa, did you hear that?
Yeah, you said it loud.
My husband and I see how much you and your wife care about learning the truth and saving your kids and family. Sugar is highly advertised and meds. Thank you for saying that. We appreciate it.
Are you outside? You want to smoke outside? You too, Ray?
We got chickens out here too. Alyssa, what's this chicken's name?
Dots.
Dots?
Yeah, 'cause she looks like dots.
That's Dots.
That's Sweetheart.
Sweetheart. Sweetheart's the other one over here that every time I'm cooking, Sweetheart comes around.
You want me to put that on my board?
Yes. I'm trying to see what other questions we have. Raw for pets is the only way, the happy way to have a grateful pet. Latra said, I'm finding some butter at bedtime helps me stop from waking up early. Yeah, there you go. You're getting that fat. Fat is magical, man. So many people doing carnivore do not get enough fat. Dogs don't need as much fat as humans. That's very true. If you're going to feed your animals carnivore, they do not need as much. It's all about fat for humans. It's not for dogs. Sure. Lynn Tucker Carnivore, so I'm guessing you're all packed alive today. You're so dedicated. We're on the way to the gym. Be safe on your trip. Oh, thanks, Lynn. I get to meet Lynn Tucker Carnivore, Ribeye Ranger Gym out at Hack Your Health. I'm actually not all packed yet. I think Emma's doing a load of laundry for me right now. I'm all packed with the important stuff, which I've been working on for 2 weeks now, and that is all of the interview questions. I think I'm interviewing like 12 individuals, mostly the doctors. It's so tricky. It's so tricky. I have so many questions for these doctors. I only have a limited amount of time to try to cover everything we need in the documentary. So I got 2 ribeyes resting right now. Aura said, so eating all natural, do you have a need for electrolytes? Where do you get it? A lot of people use Element or keto chow drops. There's a whole thing on that. If you eat organ meat, you're probably just fine and you don't need it, but there's lots of things that the world is deficient in. It doesn't have anything to do with carnivore. It's just in general, whether you're eating vegan, carnivore, or whatever. Magnesium, iodine in some places, but you should test. You should really test for those things. But the world is deficient in those things. You used to drink water and you'd get lots of minerals in the water. Now most of the water that most of the people drink is filtered and purified, and it's got fluoride in it, and it's altered, and it doesn't have those same minerals that it used to back in the day. So a lot of people, I advocate if you're starting carnivore to do the electrolytes, and some people are just fine without them. Dr. Chafee's like, you're probably just fine if you eat nose to tail and you have some organ meat every now and then. Nico Ben, do you have any tips for bullying? Because I keep getting bullied. Well, I'm sorry that you're getting bullied. My biggest tip for anyone that's bullying is stop it, you're a jerk. My biggest tip for you, Nico, is if people are bullying you, it's because it's a problem with them. It has nothing to do with you. So hopefully you can realize that they should be completely ignored because they have some sort of deficit. Maybe they're depressed. Maybe they had some big loss. Maybe they have some mental issue that's causing them to want to hurt you. But that's entirely on them. I'm a big believer I can only control myself. And Nico, you can only control yourself and your thoughts and actions and how you react to things. So someone can bully you or someone can be mean to you, and you can decide, am I going to let that bother me? Or am I going to realize that that's on them, they're foolish, I'm going to just let it roll off of me. I know it's easier said than done, but ultimately it's your decision. We suffer more in our minds than we do in reality. And we can control our minds, and we can control how we think and how we feel. And we can decide if we want to let people get us mad. We can decide if we want to get road rage, or we can decide, no, that person's just a jerk. I'm going to not even think about it and go on with my life. Lisa Rich said, I agree. There's no reason to eat sugar. People are addicted to justify it. Oh, $50 from Michael Lewandowski. Carrie, I agree with you about sugar, but ribeyes are also addictive. By the way, ignore all those haters who only rationalize their bad choices by saying all the BS, please. Yes. They don't bother me other than part of this whole journey is to help educate people. And there's people that are suffering and they're making the wrong decisions and they're addicted to sugar and the standard American diet and they don't realize it. And so we're trying to break through to those people if we can. But yeah, it doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me if... I don't get bothered by what other people do. Like I was just saying earlier, I can only control my own thoughts and actions and how I perceive the world. That's all entirely up to me. So I don't let other people bother me, but ribeyes are also addictive. I agree, but in a different way. I appreciate and I have gratitude for a ribeye. I get all the nutrients, but I'm not. I look forward to it. I'll definitely say that, but I'm not jonesing for it like like an irrational sugar addiction. I look forward to a ribeye because my body's like, yeah, dude, you need some more nutrients. Ribeye is the most nutrient dense food you can eat. Let's go have some ribeye, and then I'm thankful and I'm grateful for the ribeye. Before, I was jonesing for some sugar because 2 hours earlier I had a granola bar or an apple or something that Diet Coke or something that spiked that sugar response in my body. I'm like, I need more sugar, I need more sugar, I need more sugar. So thank you for the super chat. Really appreciate that. How long does he smoke them for? I don't know what you're asking. My ribeyes, I smoke till they're 110 internal temperature. The burger patties, I just eyeball it. I'm getting some smoke flavor on there, and then I grill them until they're done. You do this for 430 days, and you don't really got to... There's no time settings. This grill is sometimes hotter than other times, so... How often do you meal prep? It's becoming more lately. I didn't early on in carnivore, and I wish I would have more. And then I guess it depends on the definition of meal prep. We've been doing a big meal prep weekly. We do the beef stew meat. A lot of people have heard me talk about that. I get a huge thing of beef stew meat from Costco or my neighbor, wherever I can get it. And I'll cook it in the slow cooker. And that makes up several meals. So that's meal prep. And you can keep it in the refrigerator, and it's fantastic. We do that once a week at least, sometimes twice. Why are you cooking burgers so early? Well, I only eat lately at noon. So I was trying to get these ready before noon. I want to eat precisely at noon, which is in like an hour from now. I have a call at 1 o'clock. And this is all I'm going to eat. I'm going to eat one of those ribeyes. So I'm going to eat probably 5 of those patties. And that's going to be all my food I'm going to eat until tomorrow. But for me, like lately, I eat from noon to 1 and that's it. And then 23 hours of fasting. I'm not saying other people should do that. I'm not saying anyone has to do that. For most of my carnivore journey, I ate 2 meals a day. Skip breakfast, I would have lunch and dinner. But I feel really good doing 1 meal a day. And when you let your digestive system rest for 23 hours, there's all sorts of benefits you get. Autophagy, mitophagy, you're giving your whole system, you have so much energy. People don't realize how much energy it takes for your digestive system to process food. Of course, it's a lot less when you're on carnivore. You're not putting all that crap and roughage and sugars and seed oils in it. But still, if I eat now and then eat a couple hours later, it's more energy my body expends. It's really not that big of a deal. It's not the reason I'm doing it. But when I do 1 meal a day, I feel like I got much more energy too. Probably for that reason. Tips for carnivore on a budget. Yeah. Lots of eggs. Eggs are great. Ground beef is awesome. I was a snob when I first started carnivore. Like, I spoiled myself. I had a lot of steak initially. Now I eat ground beef all the time. I love it. Or as they say in the UK, mince. Ground beef with eggs, I love. I get it nice and crispy, get a good texture. I'll have scrambled eggs and ground beef all the time. Beef, butter, bacon, egg. Power. Hey! Get down. Chicken just jumped up on my ribeye. You crazy. This little chicken is crazy. Well, not so crazy. Can you blame him? Could you imagine, man? Tried to eat my ribeye. So carnivore on a budget. What I'm doing right here. This was a box of 32 ground beef patties from the big Walmart grocery store. They're like 80 cents a piece. I think the math works out to. They're 100% ground beef. They're not grass-fed, grass-finished. If you can afford better and you can get grass-fed, grass-finished locally, I'd advocate for that. But these things are 80 cents a piece. I can eat 5 of these. It's $4. $4. And then people might say, well, $4 is even a lot of money. Well, on the standard American diet, what can you get for $4? You can get macaroni and cheese, and you can get ramen, and you can get diabetes, and you can get medication. And when I would eat macaroni and cheese and ramen and that crap food, I'd be hungry 2 hours later. I can eat these burgers and a ribeye, and I'm not going to be hungry. This is all I'm going to eat for 24 hours. And I'm going to eat $4 worth of burgers, and I don't know, what did I pay for these ribeyes? I got these ribeyes from the grocery store too, so they were pretty cheap. This whole meal is going to be probably $12. Ooh, Mr. Moneybags with the $12, but it's the only thing I'm going to eat for 24 hours. I will literally not eat anything else. I'm going to stop getting you guys dizzy here. You can watch me put these on. I will literally eat nothing else for 24 hours. And I'm not starving myself. It's not like I'm wanting for more and I'm hungry. I'm eating fattier food. I'm giving my body the nutrition it needs. So my body isn't like, dude, give me more, which it is like on the standard American diet, so you end up eating way less. I am gonna have to cut into one of these ribeyes pretty soon. These things have rested for quite a while. Hey, we got Charger Mopar Rick. So those were some tips for carnivore on a budget. The other thing to think about is just think long term. Oh man, I am spending so much less money now. I don't have any over-the-counter medication. I don't have any prescription medication. I don't have any doctor's appointments. I only went to the doctor to verify my congestive heart failure reversed. Didn't need to go there for any sort of medicine or treatment or anything like that. That adds up. When you were chronically sick like I was spending so much money on doctor visits and co-pays and insurance and prescription medication. None of that now. Man, this thing's putting off a lot of smoke. All right. Going quick. One of the reasons I like to do the meal prep this way too is because I'm putting charcoal in the grill. I'm cooking a ton of food then with that charcoal. I'm firing up the smoker, so I'm cooking a ton of food with the smoker. So for those of you just jumping on, I got a bunch of ground beef patties, 32 of them I'm cooking. I smoke them, I sear them on the charcoal, and then I put them in here. And this is my homemade bone broth. I put them in here because then they don't dry out. Look at how juicy those things are. And keeps the flavor, and it's delicious, right? So I'm gonna eat a little bit now. You guys want to see how this thing turned out? Let me see, what's a good camera angle for y'all? You guys are probably getting really dizzy at this point. There we go. Got a little water on the table. It rained out yesterday. I did the thing with Adam for a while with no salt, and I've greatly reduced my salt, but I still add it a little bit, but much less than I used to. So I got a couple patties here. I already just cut this one. Let me cut it here and show you. Oh, that looks good. You guys want to see? You want to see the ribeye? How's that look? Pretty good? A little dab on the salt. One of the craziest comments I keep getting is, aren't you sick of steak? 100% honestly, not even close. Look at that chunk. Absolutely fantastic. Why is it so good this way? Because you smoked it and you get the cherry smoke flavor in there. You can actually see the smoke ring around it. And then you finish it on charcoal. You get that nice crispy charcoal work. So camera work is great. Oh, thank you. This is actually my iPhone camera. You guys can't see off camera, but get out of here. Did you guys see that? This chicken is nuts. Go away. Alyssa. Chicken's trying to eat my ribeye. I got dogs over here trying to eat my ribeye. I got chickens everywhere. Go away. Go away. Can you come take your chicken? She's jumping up and eating my steak. I almost just accidentally cut her with my knife. Just out of reflexes.
What am I supposed to do?
Put her somewhere. I don't know. Put her on the grill over there if you have to.
Burn
I'm
her?
joking. That was a joke.
No, it wasn't.
They can't see you right there. Go, go. She jumped up like 3 times now. She almost took my ribeye and ran off with it.
What am I supposed to do?
Put her
I
in
don't have any shoes on, and I don't want to be on camera.
I don't know. Take her on the other side of the yard, like a mile
bring her
away,
through
and
the
drop her
house?
off in the woods.
I'll bring her to the house, and then I'll put her on the other side.
I don't know if y'all heard that. Alyssa's taking the chicken through the house to the other side of the house, and she's going to set her out the other door. Let's time it right now. It's 11:02 on my phone here. We'll see. Chicken's going to come running around the corner any second. I'll jump right back up here. All right, let's see how these burger patties look. Oh, man. It's all how you prepare it, right? These things are so juicy. They're just dripping with juice. These ones are harder to get kind of medium rare because they're basically thin little pucks. But this one's pretty much medium. Kind of hard to tell. We still got some pink on there. It gets a little confusing because when you smoke meat, it gets a smoke ring on it and it changes the color a little bit. Should I give Baxter a bite? I'll give him a little bit of the burger. Baxter, come here. Come on. Can you sit? Sit. Baxter, sit. Baxter, sit. Baxter, did you see that? He just growled at Ray. Nice. Ray, sit. Ray, sit. Watch this. Ray, speak. 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 Ray, speak. Ray, speak. 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 Louder. Louder. Speak. All right. He spoke a little bit. All right, go away. I know that's horrible to feed your dogs like that. It's another habit I got screwed up. When you see his little puppy dog eyes, though, man, it's hard to not feed him. You're not getting my ribeye, though. So juicy. That's one of the things with smoking meat that is incredible is you smoke it low and slow and you get a nice even cook. You see that? Now, if I just took this ribeye and threw it on a propane grill, what would happen? The inside would look this color, but then the outside would be burnt. It wouldn't have that even cook. It's 9 p.m. in India. I've been carnivore for 3 weeks now. It's amazing. Congratulations, Nick. Listen, my friend Nick, 3 weeks is incredible. But it only gets better and better. Dr. Chafee told me that. I was so fortunate to have him on my channel early on in my carnivore journey. And he said it's going to get better. And I thought he was full of it. And it gets better and better. When you hit 3 months and then you hit 6 months and you hit 1 year, it just gets better and better. Your energy will improve. Start putting on the muscle. Inflammation goes away. Hey, I just came on this. What is this? A diet plan. I don't like calling it a diet. Some people call it a proper human diet or a carnivore diet. For me, it's returning to what is natural for humans. Humans were never intended to eat the foods that are in the grocery store. Every single one of you watching this that goes into a grocery store and sees 60,000 products, 59,995 of them are waste garbage that humans were never intended to eat. When you look at a box and there's 45 different ingredients on it that you can't pronounce, humans were never intended to eat those things. So this is more of a lifestyle. It's more of a commitment to return to what is natural for humans and to stop slowly poisoning ourselves. For me, the closest I can get to eating natural foods that humans were intended to eat, that humans were ancestrally supposed to eat, is eating beef, butter, bacon, eggs. Single ingredient foods. Those of you that are new will be like, well, what about vegetables? What about broccoli? If you can grow your own broccoli in some nice nutrient-rich soil, good for you. But 99% of the broccoli available in the world, commercially available that you get from the grocery store, it's riddled with pesticides, glyphosate. There's toxins in it that humans weren't intended to eat. So for me, carnivore is the closest I can get back to eating what is natural and intended for humans. Hey, I'm an Indian woman and I'm thinking to start carnivore, but seeing you, but I don't eat beef. What alternative can I eat? Because here we don't have that much options. Do you have lamb? Would you be willing to do lamb? Ruminant animals are best, but on carnivore diet, it's animal products. You can eat beef, butter, bacon, eggs. The tricky part is getting enough fat. You have to get enough fat. You could eat chicken. That's carnivore, but it's not going to give you enough fat. If you ate solely chicken, you'd have to supplement. Hey, it's Carnivore Ron. Good morning, Ron. How's it going? He's fasting today. Awesome. Dan Carey, you have people from Iran, India, and Ireland on here. That's crazy. Check that last burger. You still have paper on it. Did I put on there? Oh, no, I hope not. Do you make your own bone broth? Great question. Yes. So the burgers are soaking in bone broth right now, so they don't dry out. And that is my own homemade bone broth I made yesterday. When you go to the butcher, if you have a butcher, my butcher I was at, and they actually had a sign up, and it said bone broth bones. And they're really inexpensive. You can go there and buy a bag of bones. That's what I've done several times now. That's what I did yesterday. And sometimes I'll do them in the pressure cooker. This is what Mimi taught me. But yesterday I did it in the slow cooker for a long time. And that bone broth that you get out of there is one of the most incredible things. And then you let it cool in the refrigerator overnight, and you get your own tallow as well. Is he reading the YouTube comment? I can't find one he's reading. Well, there you go. I just read yours, Anonymous. There's like 700 people on here, so I can't read every single comment. I lost 44 pounds since February doing BBBE and dropped all medications in the process. That is awesome. Congratulations. Most veg are not really good for you, and you don't need them. I haven't had any vegetables in 430 days. I'm absolutely thriving. For those of you that are new here, it looks like there's a lot of new people on here. I have been doing carnivore, proper human diet for 430 days. I'm down 100 pounds since my absolute heaviest. I stopped snoring. I overcame sleep apnea. I don't need a sleep apnea machine anymore. I had gout in my foot. They wanted to do surgery. That has reversed. I was diagnosed with IBS. Those symptoms went away. I had clinical suicidal depression most of my adult life. I was on every antidepressant medication. That all completely went away on carnivore. And most recently, I had congestive heart failure and irregular heartbeat. My congestive heart failure reversed. All of this is verifiable in my medical records. I'm sharing all of it with the documentary we're doing. My ejection fraction was 44. It's now 60. My doctor wrote it right in my notes. Your heart is good. He was dumbfounded. You no longer have evidence of cardiomyopathy. He wrote right in my notes. All that from eating a proper human diet. I didn't eat a single vegetable, single grain, no rice, no broccoli. Michelle, can't wait to see your interviews. Oh, thank you. And thank you so much, Michelle, for your kind words and support. We recently lost a good friend, and Michelle asked if she could donate. And then we saw that you actually did donate. We're like, who was that? That was so nice. Thank you so much for that. I am trying to, I found some really good YouTube videos for widows and advice for them. And there's some really good support groups. So we're trying to give her all the support we can, and it's going well so far. Jen had a long phone conversation with her yesterday and the day before. Just trying to listen as much as we can, which I think was advice you gave us. Michelle said, really happy that you are doing this documentary. It's really needed. At Hack Your Health. In 5 days from now, Adam and I are speaking, and we're also presenting a pre-movie trailer for this documentary. Footage that people have never seen before. Footage of Bill Knott, Jeff DeProsperous, Dr. Hampton, Dr. Ken Berry. And then after that, I think maybe a week after that, we're going to try to do a big live stream where we release that same pre-movie trailer to the public. The only caveat is the movie isn't done yet. We've since filmed several other individuals that aren't in that trailer. We just put this trailer together for Hack Your Health. We designed it specifically for a ketogenic crowd so they kind of know what it is. When we actually have the trailer for the movie, it's going to be different. It's going to be for the general public. But anyhow, stay tuned for that, because we hope to share that maybe the week after if you're not making it out to Hack Your Health. Can you have a quiet peanut gallery watching your interview with these doctors? No, we're not going to do that. It's just going to be Adam and myself. And Adam's going to be filming. And I'm going to be asking questions. Most of these doctors are professionals. They would probably just be fine with a peanut gallery, but it's too distracting as it is. And honestly, even like Dr. Berry, who's obviously a professional, he was taken aback a little bit when he came in. I'm not patting ourselves on the back, but this is a legit operation we're going to have set up here. It's a full-on studio. It's like you're walking into like a movie studio or something. So it can be a little overwhelming, and then to have people walking around, and then potentially their phones and stuff is going off. It would probably be okay with the doctors. We're also interviewing a few individuals. They might not be comfortable with it, so no audience for this one. Touch Me is a troll in the comments who said, bro, you need a balanced diet. Well, thank you for letting me know that, Touch Me. What should I balance my diet out with? Give me some suggestions. I'd really appreciate it. We should do everything in balance and moderation, right? I should have some sugar, balance that in. I should moderate a little bit of seed oils. I could moderate and balance just a little bit. Red dye, that would be good. I could balance and moderate in some artificial sweeteners. How about pesticides? We could have pesticides in moderation too. That would balance out my diet some more. I wonder what like cows do. How do they balance their diet when they're out there eating grass, which is what they're intended to eat? Maybe we should give them some ice cream and Doritos and some peanut butter too, because it's really important, just for the sake of words, that we balance and moderate things. I should moderately and slowly poison myself with different foods that my body doesn't need, just for the sake of balance and moderation, because of words. Question, how come you don't eat chicken? I do eat chicken, very rarely though. Chicken doesn't have a lot of fat on it. The other problem with chicken is it's not a ruminant animal. It only has a single stomach. And if a chicken's eating grains that have toxins or pesticides or glyphosate or garbage in it, get out of here, chicken. Speaking of chickens, that was good timing. You eat that chicken, you eat whatever the chicken ate. And people that are doing carnivore, some of them have autoimmune disorders or other issues. It could cause issues for them. I do notice that when I eat chicken, I get inflammation. Inflammation comes back for me when I'm eating chicken. So I don't eat it very often, but it's fine. It's not fatty either is the other issue. Get out of here. I didn't kick him. I just put my foot up. What is the most informative carnivore book to guide me on this new journey? Oh, that's a tough question. The original book is the Carnivore book by Dr. Sean Baker. He's the original one that started talking about this and wrote it, and that book is fantastic. Unholy Trinity, I recently had Daniel Trevor on the channel. He wrote a book talking about, it depends on what you're looking for. Like, are you looking for reasons why carnivore works? Or are you also looking for, why is the system so messed up and why are so many things backwards? Another book I recently read and did a little review on yesterday, I finished reading it yesterday actually, was called Contraindicated by Edward Goski. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. A young man, really smart guy. That's a great book too. That gets more into the science. Why is the system so messed up? Why are seed oils bad? Why is processed food bad? How do we get all this stuff so wrong? And then it talks a little bit more about diet as well. If you're doing it from a mental health front, Dr. Georgia Eads' book is incredible. Change Your Diet, Change Your Mind. Does organ meat have to be cooked well done? I don't think so. I don't know. I don't think so. Anyone else got comments on that? Hey, Carrie, I love all your content from South Africa. Oh, thank you. You're doing an amazing job. Thank you. We got Big D with a $1 super sticker. Thank you so much, Big D. That's the third super on a live stream. That's awesome. Thank you. Do you fast? Yes, I do fast. I have done a 3-day fast, I've done a 5-day fast, and I did an 8-day fast. And currently, I intermittent fast. I only eat 1 hour out of the day, and I'm fasting for 23 hours a day, recently. Sherry Morgan, $5 super chat. Thank you so much. I eat roasted bone marrow and egg yolk for digestion. Should I add steak or ground for sensitive tummy? Thank you. Well, if you have digestion issues, you're doing a heck of a job. Bone marrow is incredible for you. Egg yolk is great, especially if you have stomach problems. Egg whites can mess you up. I would just try. You only know your own body, but I would try. Steak can be tough for some people if you're having digestive issues. So if it were me, I would do baby steps and start with ground beef. That crazy chicken, the crazy chicken went all the way around the house and came all the way around the corner and is back here now. That is sweet pea. Sorry, trying to get caught up on these chat here. There's a lot of questions. Is your dog on carnivore too? Yes, both of my dogs are. My cats are. My whole family is eating proper human diet, and the dogs are eating proper dog diets. Are you sharing with the chickens and the dogs? Yes, I just gave Baxter another piece, and Ray had one too. McRiblet said, I love that big box of burgers Walmart has. Yeah, there it is. If you're on a budget, man. 32 burgers, it's like 80 cents a burger. And they're 100% ground beef. What do you think about Primal Bod? Is that the woman that's on Instagram? I really enjoy her content. I usually do longer form content, and it's fun seeing the short stuff. I'm trying to do more of that myself. Sherry Morgan, do you think beef is healthier for us than bacon? Should bacon be used in sugar emergency onlys? I do believe that beef is healthier than bacon because beef is from a ruminant animal, and depending on where you get your bacon, it can be tricky, but sometimes bacon has sugar in it, and bacon is from a pig, and whatever that pig is eating, you may be eating in that bacon. Anecdotally speaking, I feel way better when I'm eating ruminant animal, beef. My problem with bacon too is I end up eating too much of it. Every single time. I've gone off and on it a couple times now. I'm currently off it too, by the way. I'll go off it for a couple weeks or a month, and then I'll start having it again, and I always end up eating too much of it. Carnivore coach Lisa Pickard said broccoli did not even come from God. Yes, there you go. It's so funny because there's so many things in this world right now that we're like, it's just always been like this. No, broccoli hasn't always been there. That is a man-made thing. And it's just always been this way that we're eating sugar and processed foods. No, it's always been that way for you, but your lifetime is a sliver, just a fraction of all of humanity. For most of humanity, people weren't eating all of these crazy foods on the standard American diet or eating these processed manufactured fruits and vegetables. So much of the fruit we get nowadays is completely modified. It's full of sugar. An apple today is this big. It used to be a little crab apple. It's nothing like it used to be. It's been perverted and changed so many times. People have this thing that it's always been that way. No, it's just been that way for your life. For the grand scheme of things, it wasn't that way. And for the grand scheme of things, the whole thing with vegetables and broccoli you mentioned, Lisa, is such a joke to me. Everyone is so indoctrinated. They're so good for you. You got to have your vegetables. Everyone lives and dies by their vegetables. It's an absolute joke throughout history. People need to study history more. Vegetables throughout history were peasant food, fed to the slaves, fed as slop to the poor, and fed as slop to the pigs and the animals. The kings, the higher ups, they ate meat. It was always a joke. And plants for like indigenous people throughout time, they honored plants as medicine. They used plants for medicine. Indigenous people back in the day, throughout history, throughout mankind, if they saw what humanity was doing with plants nowadays, they'd be like, what the hell are they doing? Why are they eating so much medicine? They're ingesting medicine for lunch and for dinner and multiple times a day. Why are they eating all of their medicine? I am confused. But most of humanity, it's like, that's the way it's always been. And they've got this social norm that's so hard to break. Do you hunt your own meat? I tried to, and I'm trying to do more. We had a hunter on our property the other day, caught a turkey, and he gave me a big turkey breast, wild turkey breast. It was fantastic. I want to get a lot more. I have so much deer and turkey here. Deer is another ruminant animal, by the way. Really good meat you can get from deer. Just got to get the fat content high. That's the tricky part. Do you only try and get meat from the butcher, or is any meat from the grocery store away from this lifestyle? I try to get most of my meat from my neighbor. Initially on my carnivore journey, I got a lot of it. My neighbor's right down the road, grass-fed, grass-finished. I see the cows walking through the field. Clean meat. They're great people. You're supporting a local farm. That's the best way to do it. And the prices are really great. They're totally fair. They're fine. The problem is I announced them on YouTube and I shouted them out, and now every time I go there, they're sold out. So I do get stuff from the grocery store or the butcher. I'll go to the butcher, and that's where I got my bones for my bone broth. But this stuff I'm eating right now, this piece of meat right here is from Walmart. It's a beef burger, great value, 32 in a pack, 80 cents a burger. How many times a day do you eat? Right now I'm eating one time a day. Most of my carnivore journey I would eat twice a day. Sherry Morgan, do you think adding butter to orange roughy is as healthy as eating a grass-fed ribeye as far as nutrition, bone marrow healthier than tallow? Wow, you're asking some deep questions there. I feel like a grass-fed ribeye would be more nutritionally valuable for me than orange roughy. With butter on it, nice fatty ribeye is one of the most nutriently dense foods you can get. So that's what I would do. Whether or not bone marrow is healthier than tallow, I think there's different attributes to it. I honestly don't know. I know that bone marrow is incredibly good for you. I know that beef tallow is incredibly good for you. Have both of them. I have both of them all the time. I cook my steaks in beef tallow. When I did my bones for bone broth, I get the marrow out of the bones. It's one of the best things for you in the world. Coach Lisa Pickard, can't wait to do an interview with Jen. My women warriors are waiting. I know you've mentioned this several times, Lisa. I'm sorry, but I don't think she's going to be ready to do that for a while. I know you've mentioned it a few times. She should be fine. She's like a natural, right? She's doing great. But she did one video on Poco Moonshine's family, but they're close friends she's interacted with. A lot of this YouTube stuff, people are like, what's so hard about it? You just go on camera, but I know for people like my buddy Bill, too, it took a long time for him to get on camera. Jen's fine when she's on with me, but she's not quite ready to go on and do other people's videos, interviews yet, but hopefully soon. Don't forget cyanide, Carrie. Yeah, cyanide's natural. Why can't we just have that in moderation, too? There's a little frog right here. Look at this little frog. I didn't even notice this. I almost touched him. My table's dirty, but there's a little frog right there. Okay, I think I'm way far behind now. I gotta finish this batch right here. Let's see. Get you a good camera angle, maybe. Oh man, these ones are gonna be great. These ones have been smoking for a long time now. So I got the smoke flavor on there, and now we sizzle. You know how you got a good sizzle? You hear it. That's it, right there. Get those charcoals nice and hot. That one right there is gonna be incredible. It's almost cooked all the way from the smoke. Just got a nice finish. This last batch, I'm gonna throw some cheese on because my daughter Alyssa still likes the cheese. And she brought me some cheese out, so. Those are gonna go quick. Those are gonna go real quick. Bone broth, and then that's the meat. So there's, believe it or not, there's gonna be 32 burgers in there. Well, I ate 2 of them. There's gonna be roughly 30 burgers in there, minus whatever the girls eat. 25 burgers that I've meal prepped for the week. They'll probably, most of them will be gone by tomorrow. I'm not even exaggerating. Those, I mean, the burgers, they cook down, they're kind of small, but it goes pretty quick. All right, let me see where I'm at here on the comments. I'm pretty far behind. I'm just gonna go to the bottom because I'm so far behind here on the chat. Let's see where we're at here. All right, we gotta flip these. I got this thing up super hot now. Hopefully you guys can see. Okay, I'll try to get out of the way for you. Oh yeah. It's a little smokier than normal. A little smokier than normal on that one. Oh. So, I always get the question on the cheese. You guys do cheese or don't do cheese? I don't do cheese personally. I'm not judging. If you can handle cheese, good for you. Jen and the girls still like cheese. Cheese tends to stall a lot of people out. There's nothing good in bread. Did you ever have constipation issues? Not on carnivore. Prior to carnivore, I did. That's one of the biggest myths about carnivore that drives me nuts. What about fiber? What about fiber? Look at all those chickens out there. On carnivore, you eat enough fat and you're perfectly regular in the bathroom. Carnivore thing is the biggest myth. There's been studies that show people that are eating a high carbohydrate diet, high in fiber, have more issues in the bathroom. They did this huge study. People that are eating ketogenic carnivore diet, no fiber, they have no issues in the bathroom. It's completely backwards from what you say. Fiber is an issue when you're putting all the fiber in your body. It perpetuates the issue and makes it worse. So we got a new member, Larry E. Welcome, Larry E. Thank you for becoming a member. We do members only live stream every week. All right, I got to pull these off. These things are cooking quick. Uh-oh. Oh, lost one. Those are for the girls for today. What do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Actually, I still got a couple more to go here. Might as well finish them, right? So, here's the other ribeye. That's going on the cutting board. Been letting it rest a little bit. I'm tempted to save that ribeye for tomorrow for myself. This burger I dropped on the ground is going to be a frisbee for the chickens. See that? Alyssa! All right, so this is the final batch. I got 1, 2, 3, 4. I got 5 burgers left, and then we will have cooked up 32 burgers. Let's see if I got any other questions here I can answer quick. Alyssa! Sorry, is that annoying? Get my daughter out here to grab her burgers. Larry was a new member. Thank you, Larry. Appreciate it. Tom Taylor, this is what life is all about. Beautiful background. Oh, thank you. Yes, I'm very thankful, very blessed. We've been here about 9 years now. This place was a huge fixer-upper when we moved here. Nobody wanted to live here. All right, here comes Alyssa. Alyssa, I got you like 8 cheeseburgers, and you guys can fight over that ribeye. It's absolutely fantastic. Or save the ribeye and I'll eat it tomorrow, but Emma will probably eat it, right? And then I got a whole bunch of more burger patties. So tomorrow when you're hungry, it's going to be in that red container.
Salt. I'm not getting all of them.
How many are you going to eat? How many is Emma going to eat? Alyssa said she's going to eat 2 or 3, and then Emma's going to eat the other 6. Gunther, $5. When you were healing from your many health problems, what was the fat protein ratio in terms of grams that you were eating? Man, I appreciate the super chat, and I wish I could give you that answer. I am absolutely horrible at measuring things in grams. I never tracked any of that, and I would advise you not to worry about it. The best advice I can give you is you need to eat more fat than you realize, and if you're looking for a good ratio, a fatty ribeye is a very good ratio. That's mostly what I ate when I overcame things. When I started carnivore, I committed. I was going to do it for 30 days. I'm like, this is going to be so expensive. I didn't realize I'd be eating way less food on carnivore than the standard American diet, but I budgeted for the month. And in the beginning, I said, I'm going to have more ribeyes early because the first week is going to be so hard overcoming the sugar addiction and all of that. So I ate a lot of ribeyes. Ribeye is like the perfect ratio. In terms of grams, I couldn't even tell you. I'm horrible at measurements and things like that. I've never measured anything on carnivore. Prior to carnivore, I would do calorie counting. I'd have apps. I'd be putting all this stuff into it. I don't do any of that. That's the beauty of carnivore. You don't need to measure it. Too much protein is not good for the kidneys. Yeah, it's all about the fat. Hey, Jennifer, Texas Carnivore. How's it going? He's in heaven back there. Good boy, too. Ray, come. Ray's a little camera shy, but it's fine being on camera. Ray's coming right now. Ray will definitely come when he smells meat. Want to say hi? Ray, can you sit? Ray, sit. Sit. Ray, come on. Ray, you want some meat? Ray's his own boss. Baxter, come. Good boy. Yeah, he's gonna lick the table now. Question: how do you guys eat the leftover burgers? Do you reheat them or eat them cold? I'm learning that sometimes I just digest meat better cold. Surprisingly, it took me a while to learn this. I oftentimes eat them cold, and I think it's way better for you. Bella recently did a video on this talking about rendered fat versus cold fat. And what Bella will do is she'll cook up a thing of ground beef, and then she doesn't eat it hot. She puts it in the refrigerator, and it solidifies, and the white fat around it almost solidifies, and then she eats it cold. And it's easier for our stomach to digest that in many cases. Based on the video she recently did, and I've noticed the same thing for myself, I used to cook a steak and beef tallow and butter, and I drizzled the rendered fat all over it, and it was almost too much for my stomach sometimes. So that's often how most of these will probably eat cold. If anything, because I have them in the liquid, would throw them in the air fryer for a couple minutes and warm them up, and it wouldn't taste that bad. I definitely wouldn't put them in the microwave. All sorts of issues with that, but also I just don't like the taste of it, warming it back up after the fact that way. But most of these will probably eat cold. Do you enjoy game meat like deer or elk? I do. I don't get enough of it. I wish I had more. Is carnivore hard to do? No, it's not. That's what's so frustrating with it. It's hard to do going from the standard American diet and breaking your social norm and going against the grain of everything you've ever been told. It's hard to get into ketosis from burning sugar to burning fat. That can be a struggle. Some people get stomach aches. They get flu. Like a week, they could be feeling kind of down in the dumps. But once you are carnivore and you're fat adapted, it's the simplest thing in the world. That's why I see all of these individuals suffering in the world right now. 9 out of 10 people have poor metabolic health. 70% of adults are overweight. The obesity rate right now is nuts. You used to see one fat guy. Now everybody's fat. Everyone's got type 2 diabetes, heart disease, cancer's through the roof. That's why it's so frustrating, because this isn't hard at all. Like, I don't even think about it. That's it. What you just saw there, that was actually fun for me. I enjoyed doing it. That was way more elaborate than I needed to make it, but it wasn't even like an hour, and that's all. Like, I'm done eating. I'm not going to eat anything for 24 more hours. Like, what couldn't be easier? Think about what you're doing, Pete Nathan, on the standard American diet. Prior to this, I would have been like 3 more hours I'm eating. Actually, 2 hours from now on the standard American diet, my sugar, I would have been hungry again. I'd have been snacking on something. Give me a granola bar. Give me an apple. You eat the apple, you're hungry again 2 hours later. Give me dinner. Give me dessert. I don't have any of that. What about the spices? What about the sauces? I don't have any of that. What about the side dishes? We got to have a side dish, and you got to have this ingredient and that ingredient. I don't do any of that. It's super simple. Super simple. It's liberating the freedom you have on carnivore. Papa Carnivore said, Pete, I'm on day 482. So easy to do carnivore. I'm down 92 pounds and feeling great. That's awesome. Lori Lee, which video of yours should I share to really convince someone who needs to try carnivore? I have a friend who needs this. My 30-day update video is probably the one that has inspired most people. I would suggest that one. If you just look it up, it's like one of the most popular videos on my channel. Ray's back there digging a hole now. That's great. Someone's going to break their ankle in there. Ray, what are you doing? He's trying to find a bone. My 30-day carnivore update. If you want to watch another video, which I'm most proud of and happy about, is my 365 days on carnivore after 1 year. I worked really hard on that video, and chicken's up on the table again. Eating some salt off the table. What are you going to do? My 1 year video, I really like. I would recommend that one too. Sherry Morgan, I had a medical keto coach recommended by Dr. Eden, Dr. Palmer. Hopefully, I'll learn more about the medical carnivore ketosis in the future. That's wonderful. Carrie, when is your next shopping live trip? Hoping to catch you and Jen on a live on one of those. Yesterday, Jennifer, it almost was. We went to Costco, and then we didn't realize it was Memorial Day, and Costco was closed, so we had to go to the grocery store. So I was going to do one at the last minute. We always seem to end up doing those at Costco. Ellen M said, I like my meat cold from the refrigerator, especially with warmer temps now. I have a hard time eating hot food when my body is hot. Yeah, there is something with that cold meat. I really like it. A lot of things change on carnivore that I never would have thought pre-carnivore. Who's your carnivore? Carrie, can you ask Emma to bring some of her beef tallow products to Austin? I would love to buy some if she has any to sell. 100%. I'm so sorry, Brett. You mentioned that the other day. I mentioned it to Emma, and actually last night she's like, oh, I got some for Brett. So she's definitely bringing some. I meant to respond to you. I can't remember if you emailed me or texted me or what. 100%. Thank you so much for that. She's bringing it. She's still in the initial testing phases, like not ready to release this to the world yet, so to speak, but she'd definitely love to get your feedback on it. What do you eat in a normal day? I eat scrambled eggs, ground beef, burger patties, ribeye, steak, beef butter, bacon, eggs. Gunther, $5. If you are trying to heal and eating lean ruminant meat, what are the best sources of fat to add? How much of that fat should I add? Whew, man, I keep getting these questions on the quantities. I'm so bad on the quantities. If you're trying to heal and eat lean ruminant meat, what are the best sources of fat to add? The best sources of fat are animal fats. Animal fats. Animal fats. Ghee, tallow, butter, things like that. Now, when I eat lean meat, I oftentimes add butter. All the time. Like if I eat filet mignon or a strip steak, something that's not a ribeye that's got a lot of fat in the meat, I will add butter. I also do a lot of tallow. So like you guys saw me smoking, sometimes I'll smoke, like say I got a strip steak, doesn't have a lot of fat on it, smoke that on the smoker, and then I'll finish it in tallow on a cast iron skillet. So you're finishing it in beef fat. So you get your fat. You want to get your fat from animals. In terms of how much, everybody's different. It's really hard for me to say. I don't have a gallbladder, so it's different for me than it is for other people. The best indication of your fat consumption is your bowel movements. If you're in the bathroom and you got a lot of diarrhea, you're eating too much fat. If you feel like you're not in the bathroom enough, it's probably because you're not getting enough fat. Most carnivores don't get enough fat. I will tell you that. So you probably need a little bit more than what you think. John Deere, no fear question, late to the party. Will the HH Doc trailer for Hack Your Health be uploaded to the HH YouTube channel? Is there a difference between that and the torch being put together? Oh, great question, John Deere. No fear. We're showing the trailer at Hack Your Health. Then we were debating on whether or not to even show it to the general public because this was specifically made for Hack Your Health. In other words, that's a big keto crowd. They know kind of who Dr. Barry is. They know what a proper human diet is. If we were releasing a trailer to the general public, it would be different. It would be trying to reach the general public that may not even know what keto diet is. So we were hesitant to do it, but Adam and I were talking about it. We think we're going to release it a week later. Yes, on the Healing Humanity YouTube channel, but we're probably going to do it on a live stream. We want to give the caveat to people that are watching it, like, please understand this was made specifically for Hack Your Health. And please understand we filmed like 10 other people since then, and this is not a trailer for the movie. The movie's not even done yet. The trailer for the movie is going to come once we're finished with the movie. This is just what we have so far, but I think people are going to be really excited to see it. Adam and I showed it to Dr. Chafee one-on-one. We showed it to Dr. Baker one-on-one. We showed it to Dr. Tony Hampton one-on-one. We showed it to a whole bunch of people volunteering on our team. Of course, some of these folks are going to be biased, but we're like, give us your best feedback, and the feedback was really, really good. And I'm not patting myself or Adam on the back for that. It's these documented stories. Bill's story is so powerful, and you guys have seen none of it. You've just seen his YouTube part of it. You haven't seen anything of what we filmed so far. So I think people are going to really enjoy seeing it. It's going to keep the motivation, inspiration going for sure. All right, let's see. I got to check my burger patties here quick. Alyssa took my, oh no, I left the flipper in there. That's not good. All right, these, I'm gonna let those go for a little bit longer. Finish them on the charcoal, but I don't know. I had to do this, so I figured I'd share. Hopefully this helps some people out. If you're looking to do meal prep, this has been a great meal prep for us. Beef stew has been one meal prep we do. Power bowl, beef, butter, bacon, eggs, all in a bowl. We have a huge cast iron skillet. We did one time where we did 36 eggs. We scrambled up 36 eggs with beef, butter, bacon in it, and then we divvied it up into little glass jars, and that was our meal prep. And today our meal prep was 100% beef burgers that we got cheap from Walmart. Anybody could do it. They're like 80 cents. If you don't make your own bone broth like I do, you could get, you got to be careful what you get, but there's beef stock. You could put it in beef stock if you wanted to keep the burgers, or you don't have to put them in any liquid. I just put them in the liquid because it keeps them from drying out, and they taste a lot better that way. But you could prep up a whole thing of burgers like I did, have them for the week. It is nice to have a go-to. And like I said, a lot of times we'll just eat them cold, right out of the fridge. All my girls do it too. So I hope that helped you guys out a lot. I think I'm going to wrap it up there. I got Baxter over here, Ray's over here. I got the little chicken down here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Well, let me see. We got one more. I really hope this movie sends out the message and truth about what is really happening to people. I hope it changed lives. People need to understand what they have been doing wrong for years. I hope so too. It's the documented stories that matter, and that's what we're doing differently. Is we're showing these real stories from individuals having incredible, unbelievable healing that I wouldn't believe had I not actually looked at and verified through their medical records. Some of this stuff is just absolutely crazy. The majority of humanity right now, I'll end with this, is not actually living. They're in a brain fog, they're in a fatigue, they're in the matrix. When you're eating the standard American diet and you have that brain fog and fatigue, you are not truly living. You are slightly impaired. And for that reason alone, humanity needs to see this documentary, let alone all of the chronic issues and depression and anxiety and obesity and type 2 diabetes and health issues people have. Let alone that, it's applicable to everyone in the world right now. So that's our goal, is to reach millions of people with it and help the hopeless. So thank you guys so much for watching. Really appreciate it. Have a great day. Peace.